The summer of 2023 has come and gone. The residents of Kakuma refugee camp have seen tremendous highs and lows. With your donations and your word of mouth sharing their stories, the Kakuma residents have rebuilt their damaged shelters, have kept themselves and their children fed, and have been able to seek medical care, both proactively and for emergency. It isn't money alone that enables these things. It is also the motivation of knowing that their circumstances are not being ignored, that you, by sharing and reaching out, acknowledge and care about the systematic ways of strife that are so wont to hit this region with grueling regularity. This May alone, the world witnessed the passing of the Uganda anti-homosexuality bill, which put terrible pressure on the already highly vulnerable LGBTQ minority. Uganda borders Kenya, where the Kakuma camp is located, and many queer refugees have already begun seeking shelter in Kakuma refugee camp. Kenya itself is extremely anti-queer, with 2023 polls showing that 90% of those polled were against the idea of rights and protections for LGBTQ residents, and many of those fleeing Uganda arrived in Kakuma with injuries from violent attacks and hate crimes. Flooding in Rift Valley, an area in Kenya very close to Kakuma camp, has also increased the number of climate refugees, and the floods themselves have affected the camp, as well as the food prices in Kenya. Political protests in Kenya against the corruption of their government and the unreasonably high taxes in July were also met with extreme violence, leaving 20 protesters dead, hundreds injured, and the entire country uncertain about their safety. Kakuma camp remains one of the only safe havens for queer refugees on the entire continent of Africa, and they are experiencing the fallout of the worst parts of political, economic, and environmental upheaval. Your donations will make an actionable and positive impact, allowing the refugees to continue surviving day to day during all this strife. It will also be hugely uplifting to experience the solidarity of other people, to be seen and have your story heard. The scapegoating of queer people in the region, dominated by a right-wing government, is done in part because of those that cause the violence believe that their victims are helpless and unsupported by the rest of the world. We know that isn't true, and we know that you can help prove it with your support. Thank you.